Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself, and we are back with another Ace Attorney episode, the finale. As you can tell by the question of the day, is this episode long? I don't know, but I am planning on finishing the game today. So we'll see if that succeeds. This is again, as I've mentioned multiple times throughout the playthrough, I do know the general storyline of the game. So I do know this is the end of the game. I say this hesitantly because I don't want to spoil anything, but I do know this is the general spot where the end of the game begins. If you would like to check the playlist of this entire series that is finally concluding with this episode, all you have to do is go down to the description below where you can see a playlist of this entire series. You can also figure out how we got to this point and everything in between along the way. You can leave a comment, subscribe, like, do all those fun things you ought to do when supporting a YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's find out why Edgeworth is confessing to his own sins that we don't believe he sinned. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's go. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot and then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. That's fun. And until now you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events. Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. It is time to cross-examine. Okay, this is it. Let's go. That day I'd gone out to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials.
Hold it!
What was the trial your father was involved with on the day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only two things. I know my father lost and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Karma, you were handling the case. It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. It was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. So we went to leave, an earthquake struck. Yes.
Hold it!
So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help. This is when they lost their composure.
Hold it!
What did you do then? What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at that time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then, something heavy fell at my feet.
Hold it!
What was it? Pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next? Picked it up and threw it.
Hold it!
Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick. I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. And later there was a single gunshot and then a scream.
Hold it!
The gunfire once. Yes. I think. After I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. The gunshot and that horrible scream. Scream? It was a terrible scream. Okay.
Hold it!
To this day. Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence, but I don't know what it means. Better find out quick. Have we restarted? Okay, we restarted. So, clearly we have some evidence. I need to find... I'm going to present something. What evidence would be helpful in this instance? Alright, at this point, the old trial is not really useful. Mainly, we're just looking at the new stuff. I guess we could check the DL6 incident. Here, an elevator was oxygen depleted at the time of incident. No clues found on the scene. Trapped one fully. Wait a minute. The murder weapon was fired twice? Didn't he say he was shot once? Hold up. There's. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Probably lost the composure. A single gunshot, but it was fired twice. Hold up. Hold up. Is this it? Is this what we're looking for here? Wait a minute. DL6. Yes.
Objection!
Alright, let's hope this works. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor, unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edwards' testimony? That was the victim one, I think, right? Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we've heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? I have to say yes, don't I? So, yes. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Kahr, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? Let's take a look. Probably not useful. This is old case. That's not useful. That's old case. Let's check this. Okay, so Edgeworth's dad. Dead on the bottom left. What is a giant hole? Yeah, this has to be, right? Look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. There we go. I can see the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves the two shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please get a clue. Alright, so I guess we gotta show the judge the contradiction. I'm assuming we're gonna have to pop there.
Take that!
As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Ooh, this is interesting. Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, two shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else.
Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be?
The murderer, of course.
Objection. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page.
Case summary? That's page 1.
Look at what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene.
Huh?
The pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, and the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene.
He does have a point.
That second bullet has never been recovered, found, whatever. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door.
Order! I will have order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is a single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim.
I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter.
How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident?
What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection?
I'm sorry, Maya.
What?
It looks like I was wrong.
Nick?
If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing.
No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent.
I'm sorry. It's just when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. Now, I was wrong to think that it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years.
Nick.
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only one bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth.
Precisely.
I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections?
No. No, I do not.
So you killed your father. Well, that was not your intention?
Yes, I did.
Oh no. He's accepted the guilt.
Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here.
Right now.
Indeed. Does anyone have any objections?
Been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words.
Mr. Wright?
I'm gonna object, I guess. Your Honor, I object.
Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Nick?
I don't know. His case is perfect.
Oh no.
It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
The second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it.
It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright.
Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it existed.
What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist.
I realize that, Your Honor. Really grasping here. Okay, so it's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened.
But who?
The murderer. The murderer. The murderer.
The murderer. Then tell us, just who is this murderer?
I'm still thinking about that one.
So the criminal took the second bullet, but why?
Huh?
First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search that bullet?
Well, he didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue.
What's wrong, Mr. Wright?
Bah, the murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Had to take it. Had to take it? The murder? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright,
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but, the murderer had to take the bullet.
had to, Mr. Wright. What do you mean?
Well, for instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer?
The bullet hit the murderer.
Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hits you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's what's really happening?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime.
Yes, I guess that's how that would work, yeah.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. That would mean
The murderer came from outside, yeah. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, and yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you're saying.
What are you saying? Deny it, deny it. No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer.
No one was wounded at the time of the incident. I mean, he's right. I can't think of anyone.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
I just thought of something really crazy.
Crazy?
Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday?
Gregory Edgeworth Delta. I'll just read it regularly. Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. It's an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's ever taken in his many years of prosecuting.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock?
He took it because he was injured.
Which would mean
It could only mean one thing.
he was the murderer in the DL6 incident?
He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth.
It was Von Karma.
Oh, man.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright. You seem dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Yeah, we don't got time for this. Let's go. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect.
Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect?
My hands are shaking. What?
Von Karma. What? Von Karma?
You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor, the one standing right over there?
Bah,
You don't object.
I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection?
Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason?
So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring in the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify.
Nick, let's find out who his doctor is.
It's no use.
Edrith?
I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. I would leave a doctor as a witness.
No one's that perfect.
So what now, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane.
No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot?
I have an idea.
All right, Von Karma, I'll prove it.
And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much.
What?
The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot. I only have one idea here. And I passed it. Right here. We've had this for ages. Time to use it. I mean, we have, but also it's time to use it again.
Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail.
So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself.
You don't mean...
Mm-hmm. I do. There is a possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma.
Is that even possible for all these years?
Well, there's only one way to find out. We'd use this metal detector that I just happened to bring into court for some reason. Anyway, well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find.
I refuse.
You refuse, but refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order.
Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector.
Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy.
The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. Isn't that why you're so willing to do this? It was you who said we had to end it right here and right now.
Yeah.
Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing.
Nick, what does this mean?
I don't know, but we gotta give it a shot, right? Here goes something. Jackpot, baby. It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma?
You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent.
Huh?
Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident.
What? Oh, come on.
I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6.
But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that?
Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I.
Mr. Wright, well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6?
Of course he can. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence.
That is where you were wrong, my friend. Because you took it out of the records room yesterday.
With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright.
No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. I think I don't understand the logic of using the word sorry because this feels like I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Wait, what? No,
What?
you were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof.
What?
Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. That would be this right here.
That's a bullet.
Where did you get that?
This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact.
Ballistic markings?
As we flash back to a few days ago, I think, you may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. As the judge says, ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets, then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? I can't really scream. Grr.
Wait a minute. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait. I know.
Help, I can't breathe. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom past this. We've heard this 1,000 times. Stop breathing my ear. Get away from my pops. Bang. Oh, this is such a serious moment, and here I am doing like Chewbacca screams and whatnot.
It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed.
Mr. Von Karma.
Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me! So, it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death, death.
Yo, that forehead, that wall, iconic scene, but also, ouch. Anyway, 15 years earlier.
Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry.
Von Karma, it's not like you to make this error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would have been the one to catch you.
I was careless.
I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time.
Edgeworth.
This is 15 years earlier, and I don't know if I said that.
It was like a shock. It was a shock like none I'd ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on. The elevator doors opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime.
Can you stop talking about karma?
Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge,
What?
what are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it.
Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
you were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty.
Oh man, that was that case, all right.
That is all. This court is adjourned. Someone get me a lozenge.
Okay. Well, I didn't even read the thing. Apologize for that. December 28th, District Court to court number 2 or something.
Nick, we did it. Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed him like a paper cup. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm impressed.
Pretty close though. I was sure we had it.
I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory.
So, it's finally over, Edgeworth.
Right.
Yeah?
I'm not sure how to say this.
I know. Try it. Thank you.
Miles. Yeah, sure.
I see. Thank you, Wright.
You're welcome.
I think you could have done better than that.
Yeah. So sorry. I'm not good at this sort of thing.
You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth, a lot to learn.
Oh, she's got you there. Whoop. What's that?
Amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month, but who cares?
See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. He knows how to thank people with burgers.
I don't have the money for burgers.
With burgers. That's how you say thank you.
I see.
Whoop.
I feel foolish.
I agree with you. You do look foolish.
Don't worry, take it a little bit of time. You gotta go with like little whoops and then turn it into a big whoop. You'll get used to it.
It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded.
Hey, y'all. Y'all were great in there.
Thank you.
Yo, Edgeworth, congrats.
Thank y'all very much.
I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there.
You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you?
Wait, that's not quite the right voice. Anyway,
Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh?
speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta?
Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick.
Really? That's too bad.
Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park?
Larry,
It's over, Nick. My life is over.
what? Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now?
Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world.
You don't look sick. You're sweating a bit, but
It's Beyonce. She's gonna live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving me behind.
well, I should have seen that coming.
Yo, Edgy, there you are.
Yes, here I am.
Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration.
Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you come along too. You come along tonight too, at my treat, pal.
Huh? Oh, thanks. Looking forward to it.
Yo, Nick. To suit that question,
When he says treat, it's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think he'll be fine there.
right.
Yeah? What's up?
That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it.
Well, yeah, that's not strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes.
It's $38, right?
What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exact?
Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school?
38.
No. No! Larry, it was you? What are you so surprised about, right?
Huh?
Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect.
What?
Think back to that day, 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history.
That's it. Larry, you're dead. You're not showing up in sequels. I'm telling you that right now. I never was good at history.
Edgeworth,
You didn't know, did you?
I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember?
Yeah. Too well.
Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts.
Oh, no, I know this. I know.
Really, right? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out.
Well, this is sure an unexpected turn of events. Eh? Edgeworth?
You should have told me.
Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah, I'd say so, yes.
There you have it.
Does that leave me? Became a defense attorney because of what you two numbskulls did?
Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist.
Yeah, and you get worked up too easy, too.
Death.
The death sentence for both of you. Man, if I had only known, I'd become a prosecutor just for this purpose.
Same goes for me, only the other way around. Longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. Thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all.
Edgeworth. Want to switch, right?
Hey, yo, line up. I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time. Let's go.
And after all that, dinner on me.
We can have a photo? Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. December 29th, 5:02 a.m., Wright and Co. Law Offices. Dang, we are up late at night. Or early morning, anyway. Well, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Huh? It's still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter?
Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick.
Dang, why you gotta do that to me? Goodbye. What time is it? Got the first trains for the mountains already left. To the station. We go. Clop, 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 clop. Early morning trains. I can relate. I guess I'm too late.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
Nick.
Maya.
Um,
So, you're leaving?
yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay?
Hold it!
Wait. What?
I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help.
Huh?
On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice.
You heard my sister?
Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything.
Well, that's my sister for you. Deputy Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick.
But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya.
Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in daze.
Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped.
Evidence?
Oh, I got some evidence for you. It's this here.
A bullet?
Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me.
Nick?
Thanks, Maya. Couldn't have done it without you.
I'll be back soon.
Huh?
I'm gonna complete my training and come back.
Alright. Okay. I'll be waiting.
Of course you will. Can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless.
I don't know about that. Maya, I think you're translating.
So, this is it.
See you soon, Maya.
Thanks, Nick.
Or maybe it's more like,
Thanks, Nick.
so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. Say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. Same old crazy cast of characters.
Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur.
Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim?
Yes, Your Honor. Bad feeling about this.
Objection!
And that is the end of the game. The main game, at the very least. I think we're gonna have little scenes here.
Hey pal, Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a happy new year. Talk about a pleasant surprise.
Whoop, Detective Gumshoe! Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kind of like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? Yeah, very strange indeed. I will say this, there is another case that is following this. I do not know if and when I will record that. I will eventually, but yeah.
Well, Nick? No, I haven't seen him lately.
Who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. That Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you'd call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now, yeah. Larry, you poor soul. There is another case after this. I will probably record that at some point, but not 100% sure. Also, I'm not sure when these episodes are coming up, but Legends of Arceus is coming out soon, and I might do a series on that.
Who, Wright? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. No, not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. I also don't know if this is the correct voice. Screech!
Like that sort of thing. Anyway, that following case will probably be recorded at some point and posted later, but I did want to finish this before Legends Arceus came out and then do a bunch of stuff on that. Phoenix Wright. The defense attorney for who I wrote that affidavit for, yes. Oh, you should know I've taken over management of the Gatewater Hotel recently. Should you be in the area, please stop by. So yeah, you can expect that in the future, of course. I wonder who else is going to show up here. Oh, it's you. Phoenix Wright. Ah, yes, Mia's understudy, was he not? Wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him late. Ah, the days of my youth. The scent of fresh lemon, you see. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the game as a whole. It's been a very long time since we actually started this, and of course I restarted at another point, but we did finish the series.
Phoenix Wright? Is he an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. He can't be a star with a name like Phoenix. Did you know they finally put his hand on movies on his DVD box set? Now that I know what the DVD is or why they're using the three-letter thing for everything these days. I'm just okay. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the game as a whole. This first game is done. Of course, there's a number of sequels to this game and the series as a whole, and I will definitely get to those. But
I'm pleased to announce the Pink Princess is a hit. I sure owe Mr. Wright a great deal. When I'm keeping my face out of the public eye till the show's over. I wouldn't want to ruin any kid's dreams, you know?
It's cool. I like how this is almost like a movie with all like the side characters popping in and being like, "Yeah, this is what I think about XYZ."
Oh, I got a letter from Maya the other day. It sounds like she caught a cold standing under a waterfall. I wanted to visit but didn't have time, so I sent her some Pink Princess trading cards. She said she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living in anyway?
Apparently a place with a waterfall, mountains. Not here. Yeah. All right, who's next?
Right? Who's that? You want to talk? Let's talk Pink Princess. All right. But, you know, I snuck into the studio the other day, and I saw her, the one inside the Pink Princess suit. Ugh, what a dog.
It's kind of a shock for a boy of my tender age. Dang, why you gotta do that? Oh man, how exciting to be concluding this game. Yeah, I remember, right? The lawyer guy. Me? I'm in training to be a paranormal photographer. You know, that picture I took of everyone? Well, just behind them, there's a ghost. For real. Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous. Man. Everything about this game I've greatly enjoyed, from the role-playing aspect, the voices that change all the time, the noises, and there's the photo with the ghost of Maya. How exciting is this? That's a nice photo, too. That's a nice image to see the game at. And that is the end of this game with the Capcom symbol there. And that is the 5th case. A brand new episode has been added. Yep, we will save this. It's not gonna. Okay, that does wrap it up. Let's see the image here. I know it's cut a bit from where you're seeing it, but this looks really wicked when you combine the two images together. Episodes 3s, episode 2, episode 1. And of course, episode 5 will come eventually, but that is the end of the main series. I guess we'll do the DLC or whatever you want to call this episode next time, and we'll get back to you when that is. But for the last time of the main story of the original Ace Attorney games, thank you very much for listening, watching, however you are consuming this content, supporting the Adoran region in any way, shape, or form that you do. Until next time, everyone, take care. Whew. Can't believe I finished a game for once.